Hey there. Have you ever felt like you maybe were playing just a little small? I'm not accusing you of that, but most people settle for what's easy, settle for what's good enough, but not you, right? You are meant to believe bigger. Hey, beautiful human, it's me, Rebecca Wiener McGregor, and welcome to another episode of Effective Immediately, the show where we talk mindset, abundance, healthy emotions, leadership, and I give you a mindset shift that you can make effective immediately. And today we are talking about believing bigger, and I mean a lot bigger. Here's why. Most of the things that we are going after in our lives are the lowest hanging fruit. Yep, I said it. I'm just going to speak the truth into you. Very often what we're going for in our day-to-day life is what we think we can get. Now, I want you just to breathe in with that, just to trust yourself, trust where this is going, okay? Going for what looks like success for you on paper may not be fulfilling you completely in your heart. Because you are meant for more. You are meant for bigger. And it's not me telling you that. It's you feeling it on the inside. You having this knowing that there's something bigger than what you're allowing yourself right now. Okay, so remember, we always operate from a place of zero judgment here. Only acknowledgement. So I want you to be really loving with yourself as we go through this. And at the same time, I want you to breathe in and feel yeah, this is meant for me. Yeah, she's talking to me right now. When you feel it, let yourself feel it, okay? No shame, no judgment, just letting yourself feel it when you feel it. Okay. Most of us go for what feels safe because of our beautiful subconscious mind. Right? Our beautiful subconscious mind is trying to keep us safe at all times. And what that means to the subconscious mind is in the familiar, in the same, in the predictable. Because things that are unpredictable cause us fear, cause us to question whether we can handle what the unknown outcome is. So our subconscious mind loves to keep us in just what we know. We don't often then push ourselves beyond that boundary, beyond that limitation, beyond that line that says, this is what we know. This is what we can tolerate. If you've ever been in a situation, which I'm sure you have, most humans have, where you're not sure what the outcome is and how that can induce a lot of stress and a lot of worry and a lot of questioning and wondering, you might have a headache, you might have heaviness in your body. It's because the subconscious mind is worried about you staying safe. And this is what happens when you are meant for more, when you're meant for bigger, when you are here to create shifts in the world. Okay. Settling for that lowest hanging fruit actually keeps us in a comfort zone when we're underutilizing our potential. Underutilizing our potential. Now, as a person of growth, that might sting a little bit, right? Like even as I say it, even as I'm thinking about this for myself and what I want next, that phrase can sting a little bit. Now, it's not meant to sting. It's meant to help you step into this next level of what you want for yourself, the truth of what you want for yourself. A lot of people in the entrepreneurship, in the spiritual entrepreneurship, in the service industry, in the transformation industry, really are bombarded with things about what your income goals should be. So you may have an income goal that is stretching you a little bit, but it may not be the real goal. You may have a desire to move the world and to be on stages around the world, and that may be stirring you even more than that income goal. And you get to have both. Okay, so whatever is stirred up in you right now, I want you to be very loving with yourself, of course. This low-hanging fruit, I want to talk about this for a little bit. This low-hanging fruit represents those easy wins, right? The opportunities that are within reach without too much effort. It's still comfortable. And it's like the job offer that pays decently, but it's not exactly you, right? Or that project that keeps you busy, but not quite fulfilled. Maybe it's the relationship that feels stable, but doesn't really match your heart's desires. These are lowest hanging fruit examples, okay? High performers often get stuck in this space because they're used to wins. They're used to seeing success as something that you earn through hard work. So taking that safe route doesn't usually light us up very much, right? We take let's just use the example of the stable relationship. They may be a good person, but they may not be the person we feel passionate about, right? Your goal may be a good goal, but it's not really fueling your passion. It's not really something that you're putting your heart into. You're putting your guts on the line, kind of feeling like, I have to do this. I have to create this. And I want to put a little asterisk here too, because if you're feeling levels of burnout, if you're feeling levels of emotional exhaustion, that can stop us from going for this big juicy fruit that we want that's at the top of the tree, right? Because it takes extra mental energy, emotional energy, physical energy, etc. So if that is you, that's something that we should talk about, okay? Because if you know there's something more out there for you, but you can't quite lean into it because you're exhausted, that's a different conversation. That's an additional conversation, okay? So here we are in this lowest hanging fruit, and we start taking what feels like something that'll work right now, right? Something that's the good enough option. When you do that, when you take the good enough option or the lowest hanging fruit option, you take away your ability to trust yourself for going for the big things. Yeah, breathe that one in for a moment, right? If you are dealing with a situation where you have been taking the lowest hanging fruit, right? Just doing the easier thing, but it's not really lighting you up. You're actually taking away from your ability to feel comfortable in bigger, more extraordinary situations, more extraordinary transformation, more extraordinary projects. Because every time we lean into something that's just a little bit harder and we have success in it, we grow into that success and we recognize, okay, this is something that is not just a dream anymore. It's something that I have fulfilled for myself. It's something that I can do. So when you take the lowest hanging fruit over and over, you take the easier way. You take the safer way. It's not wrong. It's not wrong. We're not making any of this wrong. But it stops your growth. It stops your growth and it stops your trust that you can go for the big thing. Okay, so a while back I had a client and I asked her, what's your big vision for your business? Well, I have a dream that I would like to have $200,000 in income, which wasn't very far away, by the way. And I have a vision that I want to have a full practice and maybe start a podcast and doing XYZ, right? And I said, now, the energy of that answer, and you can feel your own energy when you think about your goals and you write down your vision, right? the energy wasn't quite there. It was like she was filling out the success equation for spiritual entrepreneurs, right? It was like A plus B equals C, and this is what we do, and this is what we'll be happy with. And maybe she felt like she was pushing the envelope a little bit for herself, thinking about a $200,000 income, etc., because she wasn't quite there yet, right? Lowest hanging fruit feeling. And I asked her, what is your vision? What's your big vision? The one that you're scared to say out loud. What's the big vision that you're scared to tell other people about? Not that you have to, but if someone were to ask you to share your heart's desire and you could barely get it out because it sounded so wild, but you were so passionate about it, what would that be? And she shared with me that she would like to build a program for the kinds of clients that she was working with, have thousands of clients in her programs, and be making $1 million a year, at least in her revenue, in her personal income. Okay? That is a very different goal than the one she said. And I asked her, why? Why did you speak so low on your income and quietly about your vision when I asked you the first time? And she said, because it's what I think I can get. That's the lowest hanging fruit. So I invite you right now to think about, have you ever gone for what's convenient or what's easy when deep down you knew it wasn't what you really wanted? Okay, so give yourself a lot of love, but I want you just to recognize when this has happened in your life, if it has happened, or if you're not placing any goals at all, which I don't believe is you. I believe that if you're listening to this, you've got big goals, you've got big vision for yourself, and some of it you haven't quite admitted to yourself or to others, to your mentor maybe, to your team, whoever. The only person that really needs to know is you. Okay, so I am going to encourage you now to really step into believing bigger, because it's not for the faint of heart. It requires you to step outside that comfort zone, to take risks that others may not understand, to do things even when it feels uncomfortable, even when it feels uncomfortable for your subconscious mind. Even when that part of you is like, oh, Rebecca, I don't know if you should do this. Oh my goodness, I don't know if this will make sense. Oh my gosh, what are you doing? Taking action when you do have those kinds of reactions. Now, you're not taking wild risks, right? You're taking risks based on yourself. You're betting on yourself. You're betting on your passion. You're betting on your future. You're betting on your vision. And there is no better bet than that. Okay, so as you recognize that this is the time, this is the space to lean into something that will stretch you a little bit, the reason is that it's harder to take action and let yourself dream that really bold dream is because we are programmed, our subconscious mind, from a young age to be practical, to be logical, to not aim too high. Because the higher you aim, the bigger the fall, right? The bigger the goal, the bigger the fall. The bigger the desire, the bigger the letdown. We're taught to temper ourselves by what we hear in the media, what we see on television and movies, what our families have done, all of that. We've talked about all of this programming for decades, right? So we are programmed to not go too wild with our dreams. So we're not let down. So we're not impractical. So we're not outshining others, for example, especially if you've still got the good girl stuff going on where you want to be great, but you don't want to feel like you're bad, right? Or you don't want to outshine anybody else or out-success anybody else. You don't want to make anybody feel bad because you feel so good. That's still the good girl stuff, and we can work on that. to believe bigger, you have to reprogram these stories that you tell yourself. You have to affirm that your worthiness for your big vision and take alignment with it. And you have to do it often. You have to start speaking to yourself in a new way right now that says, okay, my big vision is XYZ, and it may be the whole alphabet. It may be a huge vision, right? And then you have to immediately start believing that you can have it and talking to yourself in the way that you can have this miracle. This is your miracle, right? This is the thing that lights you up, that gives you goosebumps, that when you think about it, it's like sparkly in your mind, right? You have to start stepping into the version of yourself and really being the version of yourself with the beliefs and the patterns of the person who can have that vision. When I was young, and I think I've told this story a little bit, when I was younger and I was in the banking industry and I wanted a promotion, I thought, just give me the promotion and I will behave like the best whatever thing I was trying to get at that time. And what I realized, and this is really important, especially if you are aiming for something that really feels outside your comfort zone, and you're like, okay, once I get to this place, then I'll start behaving this way, then I'll start believing this way, then I'll start acting this way, then I'll start speaking this way, then I'll start with my healthy habits, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the thing is, we don't get the promotion if we're not taking the action. Back then, if I was not seen as the person who could do the job that I was applying for, because of my behavior, because of my habits, because of my consistency, I wouldn't get the promotion. I would have to demonstrate that I was a person that could do the job. And the same goes for you with yourself. You have to demonstrate for yourself with consistency, with your beliefs, with the way that you talk to yourself, with your desire, with the focus on the vision, with getting it really clear that you can have this vision. Otherwise, it's just a dream. Yeah, I know that stings, doesn't it? Oof. It stings when it's just a dream, when we're not taking it seriously, when we're not taking it into that next level with ourselves, where we are really taking action, not just talking about taking action. We're making the movement. We're doing the work. We're taking the steps. It's what happens, though, in this place is that who you are begins to shift. And when who you are shifts, what you can create for yourself and what you believe you can create for yourself shifts also. Dang, that's juicy. So take a moment, be with that. And I want you to think about, what's that vision that's been too big or too bold? And what if you gave yourself permission to pursue it? That's a questions I want you to answer for yourself today for your effective immediately moment of the week. What is the vision you've been holding yourself back from? And what would happen if you gave yourself permission to pursue it? Okay, we're going to continue this conversation next week in part 2. For now, be really loving with yourself. Let the vision come to the surface. Let it be known, speak it, write it, get used to it. And then we're going to talk about why your vision is actually more aligned with your purpose next time, and how we're going to step into this higher frequency to manifest even bigger results. Okay? So much love to you, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.